Hey, welcome to Truman Tech Breaks. Today we're going to talk about some potential ways that we can fix some of our PDF files in Ally that will not require you to scan in the documents. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. All right. Now note that these methods may not work for all of your files, but they're a pretty easy way to fix some PDFs with relatively little effort. So as you can see, I am in my Blackboard Allied Test Pilot course here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that I've got two PDF files in here, the Zoom security document that I made about a year ago, and this Tech Break logo that I just made today. So you can see that they both have a low accessibility score. So let's start with this Tech Break logo. It has a 6% right now. And the reason is that this PDF is untagged. You can look at what that means, but essentially tagging is just a structure that is done in the PDF invisibly that can help with screen readers. It can help with adapting your screen size. It just makes your PDF a little bit more accessible. So we can look here at how to tag a PDF. And the first thing it's going to ask you is, do you have the original document? And in my case, luckily right now, because I just created this today, the answer is yes, I certainly do. So it's going to ask which version of Word or which software you're using that you use to create this document. In my case, it was Word 2016, but you may have something different on your machine. So just click on that and it will give you directions on whatever software you were using. If you have any questions or if your software isn't there, just let me know and I'd be happy to help you out. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and just follow the directions of what they suggested. So here is my original document here. And really what they're going to suggest here in this case is going to be pretty simple. They just want me to go save this document. We'll call it Tech Break logo tagged and save it as a PDF. And what we need to do here is, this is the important part, is make sure that we select best for electronic distribution and accessibility. Again, this is the part that may be labeled differently on your word processing software. So if you're having trouble finding that, again, please just reach out and I'd be happy to help you figure out where that is. Oops, I have clearly tested this already. Usually that would not, there would not already be a file named that, but yes. So now that we have created that file that is tagged, we're going to go ahead and replace it. So let's go back to here. We're going to browse and what do we call that? Tech Break tagged PDF, right? So choose to upload that. And there we go. It is now tagged. Now, do note that there is a little bit more work to be done. In this particular case, there is clearly an image that does not have alternate text. That's basically the entire file. But were I to fix that, this would be at 100%. So there we go. That would be one of these is done. Now, that was an easy one. What if we don't have the file anymore? And that is a good question. So let's go to this Zoom security file that I created, again, around the beginning of the pandemic last year, right when Zoom started to be used quite a bit. And we'll go to how to tag a PDF again. Now, in this case, we do not have the original document. I don't think, at least I don't know where it is. So it's going to ask, can we provide a reference? So this is like if perhaps your document could be located in a peer-reviewed journal in a reference that the library has. Obviously, this one I created, it would not be, but assuming that maybe we were working with something that was, we could hit yes. And it's just going to look for as much metadata as possible. So you want to put in as much as you can. This is to help your students be able to find this document. So as much information as you can provide and hit add reference. Once you do that, this document will get up to 100%. But that is a little bit misleading because it's not actually going to be changing anything on the document for you. Your document will technically be itself no more accessible than it was than when you started. What it will be is it will have a sort of signpost that will be able to direct them to the original document, which would be ideally more accessible. So that is one way that you can provide students with tools that they can get to a more accessible document, but just know that what you actually have on Blackboard hasn't really been altered at all. So that is one method. Now, the final method, and this is kind of a funky workaround, but if you're willing to put up with it, it could work for some documents at least, is working with alternative formats. So again, we'll go with this Zoom security file here. And we'll click on alternative formats and we'll do it easy. We'll just get HTML and we'll download that. Now we were provided with an alternative format. This ideally will be something that at least is somewhat reflective of what's there. Sometimes PDFs can be funky, but in this case, it has provided us with what it believes was on the PDF, just in an HTML format. You may want to double check and make sure that everything is correct, but what you can do then is copy paste this information into a Word document, which I have already done for some of it. Once you have that information, you can go ahead and save it as, we'll go ahead and call this Zoom precautions tagged. We're going to save it as a PDF like we did in the first step. Make sure that we've got best for electronic distribution and export. Then we'll go back to Blackboard. Click on the odometer, Zoom precautions tagged, and upload it. And again, I expect that we're not going to get 100% because, as you can see, this image needs to be tagged, but it did get it needs alternate text, but the PDF itself is tagged, which is what we're looking for. So yeah, those are some options that you have to deal with PDFs. We will be working still on getting some scanning stations set up. I'm hoping to get those set up pretty soon, but in the meantime, you might be able to use some of these methods to work with other PDF files. All right, well, thanks everybody. I hope you have a good rest of your week, and we'll talk with you later. And again, reach out if you need anything, if you have any questions or anything. We're happy to help. All right, see ya.